Welcome to the video on Nicole Pashinyan and the Armenian Apostolic Church.
There are questions that shape nations and define identities. Today we step into one of those questions at the moot Armenian Constitutional Court, presented by the World Affairs Council of Austin. We ask, what is the proper role of church and state in the first Christian nation on earth? This is Armenia, a country where identity, survival, and history are inseparable from the Armenian Apostolic Church. Faith is heritage and endurance. In every democracy, however, the boundaries between spiritual authority and political power must be examined and tested.
In this courtroom, students confront the struggle in the case, the Armenian Apostolic Church versus Nicole Pashinyan. It asks, what happens when the state challenges the church's influence? What happens when political leaders assert authority over institutions that have guided a nation for 2,000 years? What happens when faith and government collide? Where does the Constitution draw the line? Who protects the independence of the church? Who ensures the neutrality of the state? Who decides when one has overstepped the other? These are questions of identity, sovereignty, and justice. In this moot court, students must navigate these questions with clarity, courage, and constitutional reasoning. They must argue not only what the law says, but what the law means, not only what is written, but what is right. Because in Armenia, the relationship between church and state is not just legal, it is historical, cultural, and existential. And so we ask, who defines the balance of power? Who protects the rights of believers and guards the integrity of the state? Who speaks for the people when their institutions collide? This is where future leaders are forged, and justice is tested.
This is where the next generation learns that democracy survives when citizens question all power. This is the World Affairs Council of Austin. This is the moot Armenian Constitutional Court. This is where the conversation begins.
We are the World Affairs Council of Austin, and this is the moot Armenian Constitutional Court. This is the place where you don't wait for history to be written. This is the place where you shape it. We do not wait for the world to explain itself years later when the moment has passed. We do it now, right here, right in front of us. The problems students will inherit are already here. Leaders must learn to solve the problems of their day in real time, with real courage and clarity. That's what this court is. A training ground for judgment, a workshop for justice. This is a place where young advocates learn to think, argue, question, and lead. Why wait for someone else to define the world for them later, when they can learn to define it themselves today? That's what this program is, a training ground for judgment, a workshop for justice.